Hi there. This is a video testimonial for Preeti's breakthrough session that I had with her today. And one of the main things I want to highlight is that it was very direct and that it was split up into three very specific sections that were all sort of built on each other. And I found it really helpful um, to just get an outside perspective because I do work with people who are like life coaches and spiritual healers. And I am getting a coach certification. It was very interesting to hear an outsider's perspective to be able to help me be able to figure out how do I market this and how do I make like what I'm doing with people very clear. Um, and so from the onset, like she was really able to clearly see um, that what I wanted to do I was sort of like scared to sort of claim, right? And so she helped me create like a very basic I help statement. But what was powerful about our time together was that she could sense that I wasn't ready to claim it and that I was actually really scared to commit to it. Not because picking a niche or picking a particular thing is like a very hard stake to sort of put in the ground, but because that commitment comes for me like from a place of like knowing like this is it, like I finally, I've been on this journey to figure out like how am I meant to serve people, and it's been like 7 months, and claiming that statement means I've gotten there, and now I have to be ready to be open up enough to be able to do the work. And something powerful that Preeti did at the end was like, there are people that are waiting for you, um, and that I need to get out of my own way in order to be able to serve them. And I've heard that message a couple of times this week, but the way that she said it made me remember like what I seek to do is to serve. And if I continue to not commit to this fully and wholeheartedly, then that means I won't ever be in a position to serve them because they won't even know how I can help them. And so that was really powerful. Um, and because I'm a person who loves personal development, like that sort of mindset shift and reminder was really important in our session together. So I did get tons of value from the clarity in regards to who I'm meant to serve, and also being very clear on like who I want to serve are people who want to create experiences and group programs, and then I'm not necessarily just interested in creating sort of a basic service. That was helpful for me to get as well from our time together. Um, and then she made me move through what a product funnel could look like. And I knew most of the stuff in the funnel. But when we talked about what came at the end of the funnel with the core product, I was like, oh yeah, that sounds about right. Like, I love working with people one-on-one and in groups, but I want to work with people one-on-one who are really, really interested um, and invested. And I think placing that at the top of that funnel like made a lot of sense for me because I feel like that's where it's going to be most fulfilling for me to do one-on-one work, is with people who've already get a sense of who I am, what I have to offer, have received my help, and now really want a more intimate help long term. Um, and there was one other moment that was a big shift for me, um, that Preeti helped me really anchor in, and it's one of the main reasons I have difficulty fully committing is like, oh, I'm not an expert yet. And she said, but you become an expert by doing, and you have to start in order to ever become an expert. And the opportunity that I have to um, to just be one or two steps ahead is like more than enough. I think because I have a couple of degrees and I have a few like higher degrees, I always get the sense like, how am I supposed to teach something to someone that I barely know? And Preeti reminded me like, you'll know when you begin doing it with them, like you become the business owner that can then help them in their business as you call them in and work with them. And so those are some really powerful moments that I took from like maybe an hour-long session. I can only imagine what that sort of looks like when you work with her longer. She also gave me a strategy that I haven't really seen out there. And I've seen quite a few different strategies on how to create content, but hers was like very basic. She's like, think about your client, think about what they want, think about what they're struggling with, and create content and call it a day, and then recycle it. And I've been creating content, but I haven't done it to speak to what they want and to what they're struggling with. I mean, I think I get to both of those, but I didn't realize that I would be repeating myself. I think because I'm an educator at heart, I always imagine if I repeat myself, that means someone maybe didn't understand me. But in the online realm, repeating yourself doesn't look like repeating yourself, because someone may not have engaged with you enough to be able to hear it long enough. And sometimes they need to hear it more than once. I know that from teaching and from learning, like something has to be repeated in different ways, in different fashions for people, for different kinds of people to gather that. And I liked her idea that like the more content you create, not only will I be perceived as an expert, but I think I will feel like an expert because I have the opportunity to really see how I can help a client through that content. So if you're wondering whether or not to work with Preeti or just do a breakthrough call with her, all of it very much worth every minute and every dime. So thank you for your help.